We saw William Karlsson and Alex Pietrangelo out there. Will they both play tonight?
Yes, Carly's proud papa for the second time, and everybody's good and healthy back home, so we're happy for him and his family. So he's ready to go, and Petro is healed up and also ready to go. So good ads late in the trip.
There's some media themes to this one. You know, you're at the end of a long trip. They are playing their first game home after a long trip. They lost in convincing fashion to Tampa. Do you pay attention to any of that stuff?
Well, we pay attention to how they're playing, but the end of the trip for us, you know, as long as we don't look ahead to getting back home, just focus on business. I think we'll be okay with that. We've got a veteran enough room. They want to come home. No one likes to lose a game the way they did, so I'm sure they're going to want to bring their best. They're back home. But at the end of the day, I don't know how much that factors in, Gary. The team that executes the best usually wins these types of games, or if you get stellar goaltending at one end and not the other. So, or if discipline takes over, like both teams have good power play, so I'm sure they'll be talking about that. But that's how I figure it'll be decided.
Some teams, you know, your group has been successful chasing. I know you don't want to do that. Some teams you can do that against. Other teams it's more difficult. Colorado is probably one of those teams. If you get behind, it's harder to get back into the game.
Well, I think the way you get back in the game usually is, do you get on the power play, right? So does the team you're playing take a lot of penalties to give you? Do they mismanage the puck generally? So it typically means trade chances type of team. And then how's their goaltending been? You know, and we thought in Philadelphia, the two young guys in nets there with, is it Erson was out, that, you know, hey, if we get enough, we get one and, you know, get two, maybe he starts thinking about that because he's a young guy, and I think that's what happened. So, and I don't know where Colorado sits in all those things. I just hope we're not behind chasing it and have to talk about it again, to be honest. We'd like to get an on-time start tonight, and it's tough in this building. The altitude, it always seems like it takes you a while to get going, so hopefully that's not the case for us.
A number of your players said simply that they want to start by getting the puck behind and play low. Is that what you'd like to see?
I like to see that every night, no matter where we're playing, home, road, Colorado, wherever, because I think it forces the other team to execute early. So if they're not on their game, then you can, you know, take advantage of that. And it's the same with us. I never like to see us hemmed in our own end for the first 3-4 minutes, because not only that, it's you know, early in the game you don't want to be stuck certain times because it can affect your legs for a while. That's the last thing you want is a long shift. But on the road, yes, I think it's more important if you can sort of get going, tilt the ice a bit, takes the crowd out of it, whatnot, then it's easier to find your game if you're playing that way early.
Tomorrow's Thanksgiving. What do you and your family have to be thankful for?
Our health, I think, very fortunate. Among other things, there's plenty of things, but that'd be certainly top on my list.
Nathan McKinnon, Mikko Rantanen are among leaders with Jack Eichel too. Is there anything you have to cater your game to play against guys like this?
Yes, we have to have discipline because their power play is deadly. We have to reload in the right direction coming back into our end because Nate is really good at either, if he doesn't drive wide and beat you, he can turn up and lose you. So where's the threats coming from? It's usually Makar will beat you up the ice, so we have to have players in good spots so that those east-west plays don't happen. We've talked about how last game how Rantanen scored from down low, and some of those east-west plays, and it's impossible for the goalie to make those stops. He's such a deadly shooter that we have to avoid those. So I guess sometimes you got to pick your poison when you're playing them, and where do you want the shot come from where the goalie has the best chance to save it. So we've talked about that internally. So I'm sure there will be opportunities, but hopefully it's the ones we want to give up and not the ones they want to get.